Hello and welcome to the latest instalment of City Slickers, the Lincolnshire Echo show dedicated to the fortunes of Lincoln City. Over the next few minutes we'll be looking back at the last 7 days at Sincil Bank. Myself and Imps writer Leigh Curtis will be previewing the Imps game at Macclesfield on Saturday. We'll also be hearing from assistant boss Neil McDonald, midfielder Jamie Hand, while Alan Marriott will be the first victim of our new feature, Clubmates. OK Leigh, it's been an interesting week. The Imps had been hoping to tie up the signing of Lewis Emmanuel, but that's not happened. He looks to have snubbed a move to the Imps and gone to Yeovil instead.
Not a surprise really, Yeovil doing really well in League One. They've just signed Andy Kirk on a free transfer as well, which is obviously going places, and although Lincoln had a bid accepted, you'd expect Lewis Emmanuel to keep his options open, and obviously Yeovil in a higher division probably pay bigger wages than Lincoln, and hasn't really surprised me, to be honest. A bit disappointed for Lincoln because obviously they wanted to get him in through the door. We know what he was capable of. We saw him play for Brentford earlier on in the season against Lincoln, set up the goal which won them the game that day, and just disappointing really they couldn't get him through the door. But I think it shows the calibre of player that Peter Jackson's looking to get in through the door.
Are you a bit surprised though with Lee Frecklington and Shane Clark unavailable for the game at Macclesfield? They haven't tried to sign a central midfielder?
No, not really. I think to be honest, Peter Jackson's certainly assessed his options. Jamie Hand's going to obviously come in tomorrow and is going to play in that central midfield slot. I absolutely do think that there will be wholesale changes, but I think there will be wholesale changes in the summer. I think he's desperately keen to get this season out of the way, make sure Lincoln are safe, and then I think he will rebuild the squad in the summer.
Thanks for the moment, Lee. We'll be looking ahead to the game at Macclesfield in a moment, but first let's hear the thoughts of City assistant boss Neil McDonald.
Performances of late have been very, very good. Even though we got beat last week against Rotherham, I think the difference between the two teams was definitely the centre forward who put the ball in the back of the net. And our performances have improved. We'll look a little bit more exciting going forward. We are creating chances, but we have to have that killer instinct and be a little bit more clinical in front of goal. Yeah, I think we have to try and squeeze the play, especially trying to deny the space for the opposition. And for the back four to squeeze up, that gives us a little bit of chance to close the ball down a little bit further up. And when we do that, we can attack quickly from a shorter distance. So we work at that, of course, yes. But there's a fine balance between, working too much on the defence and forgetting about the attacking play. And we certainly do both at this club.
OK, it sounds like Neil McDonald's been working on the Imps defence this week. Lee, that is an area that needs to improve really after last week's performance against Rotherham, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think the disappointing thing about last weekend was Lincoln played very well in the opening 15 minutes, squandered 3 great chances. And at the other end, the leaking goals in, and there really were lapses of concentration. I've watched the goals again on video, and I've spoken to Peter about them, and Neil obviously as well. And obviously they're very frustrated because they're playing quite some good attacking football, but they're giving themselves an uphill mountain to climb often because they're not taking the chances. And then when the teams are attacking at the other end, defenders are switching off at crucial times. And it wasn't a surprise. I think Derek Holmes, probably scored the easiest hat-trick of his career last weekend. Scored 2 tap-ins and a header from about 6 yards. So there are a lot of things to work on, and speaking to Neil yesterday, he did tell me what he's been working on, getting the back line to squeeze out, condense the play so that the players don't give the opposition room to play, and when they get the ball they have a shorter attacking distance to go.
Now it's a huge game at Macclesfield, isn't it really? I mean, what sort of game are you expecting? A bit of a nervy one?
I think it'll be a huge battle, absolutely huge battle. I spoke to Danny Thomas, the former Boston winger, yesterday. He's really loving life at Moss Rose. He was a good player at Boston, and he's told me a few things about Macclesfield that might surprise a few people. Apparently they like to get the ball on the floor a lot more this season, and they're not renowned for their kick and hoof, which we all came to expect when people have been to Moss Rose before. And with Martin Gritton obviously going to lead the front line tomorrow, I think we're going to see an attacking Macclesfield outfit.
OK, we're expecting midfielder Jamie Hand to have an important role to play on Saturday. We caught up with him earlier this week.
Me and the manager talk quite a lot, to be honest. We have a very good relationship, an open relationship. I just asked him when he first come in, all I wanted from him as a player to me was honesty. If I'm not in the team, then just an honest reason why. And I think I found myself out of the team after a disappointing first half performance against Chesterfield. Got subs at half time, and the team done quite well from there, especially Curry and Freck. I think they performed to a good standard every week, definitely as a 2, and the team as well picked up. which was unfortunate for me because I was desperate to get back in and eradicate my bad performance. I think every player has them, and that it's just been unfortunate the way it's happened for me. Then to come back in, play my first game get my first start again against Bury on New Year's Day, to play quite well and do all right, and unfortunate not to win the game in the last minute, conceded, to then be suspended for the following Saturday was to Rochdale Way was disappointing. I'm not sure how many games I've exactly played. It's obviously not many. I think if they judge me over the games I've played already, I think it would be a very premature judgment. But I think just got to hopefully get my chance Saturday, and if it comes, be ready and take it and show people what I can do. First and foremost, I want to put in a good performance for me, myself, my teammates and stuff like that. If I get the chance to play, I think that's what every player wants to do. I don't need to go out there to show fans or to prove to the fans they're a good player. I think you go out there to prove to yourself you can do it, to prove to your teammates you can do it and stuff like that.
Right, that was Jamie Hand there. Now the Imps are going to be without Mark Stallard, Lee Threckington, Gary Croft, while Shane Clark is suspended following his red card at Rotherham last Saturday. But Lee, one man we are expecting to be involved is Danny Ngesson, a man who the Imps have missed over the last few weeks.
Yeah, he's been a big miss for them as well. Lincoln have really missed some width on that right hand side with although Lennell John Lewis has come in and done a very admirable job, but I like Danny. I think he's got all the attributes to become a top player. Very quick, great with the ball at his feet, and he's very, very strong as well. And maybe what I'd like to see is maybe put Lennell or Danny on the left, or vice versa on the right, and see how Lincoln get on, because definitely they've missed some natural width this season. Louis Dodds is a good player, but for me comes inside a bit too much on that left hand side, and sometimes play becomes a bit too narrow. So nice to see Danny back. Not sure whether he'll start. I think he was due to play in the reserves on Wednesday. That got called off, so I think if we are going to see him, it will probably be the last 15-20 minutes of the game.
Okay, thanks for the moment, Lee. It's now time for our new City Slickers feature, Clubmates, and the first City player to go under the microscope is keeper Alan Marriott.
Dress sense. I would have to say Nat Brown probably has got the best dress sense.
Really?
He's got some great colours, to be honest with you. It looks like little kids got Crayola colours and gone over a few white jumpers of his, but Adi Moses, God, I think a tramp probably dresses better than Adi Moses. Danny Ngesson, Nat Brown, Paul Green.
Why?
They don't think it's rugby half the time. They just stop and just pick the ball up. Trying to think what else. If it's a bit of rain, don't want to know. Bit of mud, don't want to know. Ice baths, don't want to know. Paul Green moans. Adi Moses moans. I think you might just say the whole back line just moans. Don't train very well. Everyone that's played back four apart from Adi Moses, he knows his limits. Got no chance of ladies. Not wearing a swimming cap, a ginger swimming cap, no chance.
Right, an amusing ginger joke there from Alan Marriott, very funny that. Now, if you've bought Friday's Lincolnshire Echo, you'll have read that Alan Marriott has stated he doesn't want to leave the club in the summer and he wants to earn a new contract so he can possibly get a testimonial at the end of next season. Now, Lee, Alan doesn't want to leave the club and we don't want him to leave either, do we?
Yeah, been a fantastic servant, 1 year away from his testimonial, and I think the service that he's given Lincoln, he would like to receive that. He'd probably talk of a friendly against Tottenham, which would be fantastic for him, and obviously sort him out financially as well. But
now, a few of you have got in contact with us at sportsecho.co.uk. Here are a few of the messages here. Jonathan Ricketts from London says, I still remember his first game for Lincoln and reading his comments about the fact he could barely sleep the night before. Since then, he has served the club well, and it would be a shame to see him go on that note. On the football side of things, I am not sure who else we could get of comparable quality.
And I've got one from David from Lincoln who says, Mazza is a great keeper and always has been. The only thing that's let him down over the years is his height, and that's precisely why he's not moved on.
Right, moving on. Lee, I'm going to have to put you on the spot before we go. Macclesfield on Saturday. What did you predict in your Leigh Curtis predictions this week?
Well, hopefully I'm going to have another big win over this weekend and seal the trophy. So you take me out for a nice big curry. I went for a 1-0 win.
I went for a drab 0-0 draw, I think. Right, that's it. That just about wraps up this week's show. I'd just like to remind you, if you're not going to Moss Rose on Saturday, I'll be in the Big Match Live hot seat from around 2:30. You can access that on sportsecho.co.uk.
And don't forget, on Monday we'll have the podcast with Lincoln City striker Jamie Forrester, and that will be able to download on Monday afternoon.
And of course, for all the best analysis, pictures and reports of Saturday's game, you can get Monday's Lincolnshire Echo from all good news agents and some bad ones as well. Until then, have a good weekend.